Now, how you can get your brain on track with productive thinking. Seamus with that.
Your IQ is probably as high as it's ever going to get, but that doesn't mean that you can't take what you were given and learn to use it a little more wisely. Tim Hurson is the author of Think Better, An Innovator's Guide to Productive Thinking, and he joins us this morning with some valuable advice that I think we can all afford to take. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Seamus.
And it's
great to be here.
Think Better. Your company's future depends on it, and so does yours. An Innovator's Guide to Productive Thinking. What is wrong with the way that most people think?
Most people don't think. Most people actually just follow patterns that we've learned. We do them over and over and over and over again because it's basically easier to do that.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking about new things, we tend to fall back onto old patterns. We get dressed in patterns. We have our route to work in patterns. We respond to certain stimuli in patterns.
We take comfort in that, don't we?
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's extremely comfortable. And when you get uncomfortable, that's when you start thinking, and that's where creativity starts coming in.
One of the patterns that we seem to follow is we always latch onto code words or cliches or whatever, and you've got three different types of problem thinkers. So for the sake of conversation, let me bring them up. Monkey mind, gator brain, and elephant's tether. Tell me what those are.
Okay, monkey mind, everybody knows what that is. That's the experience that you have when you're in the shower, when you're falling asleep at night. It's idea after idea after idea.
Yes.
Kind of like monkey swinging through idea trees. And the problem is that we don't focus on anything. We just go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. Now, actually, if you can harness monkey mind, if you can actually use that, it's a wonderful source of ideas. The problem is that normally what happens is we forget about them 2 seconds after we've had them.
That's true.
We've all had the experience.
I have a piece of paper and a pen by my bed.
Well, exactly.
For that
because
reason.
we don't generally record it. And we've all had the experience of having the greatest idea in the world in the shower.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get out of the shower, boom, it's gone.
I'm not alone, okay? That happens to me.
No,
all the
you're
time.
human.
Okay. Okay. Gator brain.
Gator brain. A little hard to explain it in a short period of time. We basically have three brains. We have that wrinkly thing that we call our cognitive brain. That's our reasoning brain. Underneath that, we've got an emotional brain. And way, way underneath that old brain from an evolutionary point of view is the gator brain. Can do only a couple things, fight or flight. And so often we function from our gator brain as opposed to our rational brain. For example, you're in the supermarket. You go to the fast food checkout line. What do? You count the packages of the guy in front of you. Total gator brain. What happens is that you're responding, you're reacting to a situation as opposed to thinking about the situation.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Elephant's tether. I think I have an idea of what that is, but
I love elephant's tether. Elephant's tether is about the patterning that we talked about earlier. Mahouts in India would train baby elephants to stay put by putting chains around their legs and having a stake that was rammed into the ground. And every time the baby elephant tried to move, the chain tightened kind of like a choke collar for a dog, and was painful. Big elephants are kept in place by a relatively flimsy twine attached to a relatively flimsy stake. They don't move.
Yeah.
They could easily move, but they're patterned into thinking as long as there's something around their leg, they can't move. And we do the same thing. We're patterned into thinking certain things, even though they're not true.
We're out of time, unfortunately. But the bottom line is ask questions. Don't take anything for granted. Even the most obvious answers you should question, right?
And
break out of your patterns.
Everybody can learn how to think better.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Seamus.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow, fitting in breakfast before the bell, why many students are missing out on the most important meal of the day. Helps you think better.